Hello and welcome back to Kelman Explores. Today I'm going to talk about my review of the Carnival Jubilee, Carnival's flagship at the moment, their newest and largest ship. Let's go. I'm going to try to keep this brief because I don't like to watch review videos that are super long, so let me just get right into it. The home port is Galveston, Texas. Houston is right there. There's two major airports, and it's only about an hour and 20-minute drive. It seems bad, but they have plenty of transfers. Ubers aren't really that expensive to get there either. Let me just state, though, that the parking situation, and I think the price of the parking in the port is not optimum. It's definitely nice to be dropped off and not have to worry about a car, which is what we did. A lot of people. There was like 6,000 people in and around that port that day, obviously, and actually probably more with the people getting off and people getting on. But once we got through all that, through security, it wasn't too bad. It was about a 30-minute process, 30 to 40 minutes, I think, if I remember correctly. But I'm going to give that's like a new additional thing that I'm going to give. My rating of the port of Galveston is not that high. I'll give it a 6 or 7, in my opinion. The surrounding areas are decent, but they come with any kind of downtown area. There's some areas that are probably not the best to be in around nighttime. And there's a lot of historic buildings too, but a lot of them weren't open during the middle of the day. There's not much to do there. There's a Starbucks across the street and some very expensive restaurants next door. But the actual process of the port process, which I don't know if I can blame that on Carnival or not, the terminal from the car door to the ship door or ship threshold, it was not a fun experience. It seemed hectic, like I said, chaotic. But let's wrap that up and let's get back to the regular portion of my review video, which I normally break it up into 5 segments as in my other review videos. So I'll do the overall ship appearance, the stateroom, the food, the entertainment, and the staff. That's pretty much my 5 categories that I judge my experience on. And let's go on with the ship experience, the ship aesthetic, the flow, all that stuff, how it looks, how it functions. I'm gonna go ahead and just rate that a 10 out of 10. It's their newest ship. Sure, I like the Celebration in some categories better, but the Jubilee is very beautiful. And you could tell they spent some money and attention, especially to some of the cool venues that they have, like Dr. Ing's Spa right there on deck 6 by Emeralds. The whole area in that center stage and then deck 6 on in the middle there in the currents area with the screens and all that stuff. It's really well planned and it looks great. There's a lot of space to walk through. If I had to fault anything, it would be some of the color schemes on some of the areas like deck 8 and I think it's called the Shores maybe. I'm not a big fan of the way that they made some of that stuff look compared to the other XL class ships that they have. But overall, everything was brand new, beautiful. There's a lot more sitting room and customer flow space with Jubilee and the Celebration versus the Mardi Gras, in my opinion. I really think they did a good job. Everything from the top decks down to the stateroom areas. Very well designed, built, and executed. And of course, it is still brand new, so everything looks very good. I didn't see any issues or anything to really complain about. Just a beautiful, brand new ship. But actually, maybe I should deduct some. I'm going to do a 9 out of 10. I changed my mind because of the elevators. The elevators are very small, and on all XL ships compared to their older ships, there's not a deep elevator anywhere that I could find. There is 3 banks of elevators from the front, the middle, and the back, or the forward, mid, aft. The aft elevators don't go all the way up or down. They go from like deck 5 up to, I believe, deck 15. But they are the least used elevator bay. It's the least used elevator area. So if you're ever in a rush or you can't get down or up somewhere, walk to the back of the ship and utilize that one. But also the elevator bay or the elevator shafts, I will say, were always very hot, and I guess that's normal in the mechanical area of the ships, but you would think there would be some sort of climate because you get in there and the elevator would just be hot, and then we're all hot, sardined in there. Not a really well thought design, in my opinion, for a ship that has over 6,000 guests potentially plus crew. And forget it, on embarkation day, disembarkation day, if you're not early, the elevators they're no longer available. I'm just telling you right now. So pick a room. Pick a stateroom, deck 6 or below, so you can always walk down to your room. That's my tip to you. But still, the ship is in good condition, minus the elevator plan that they have. I'm not a fan of that, and I think I'm not the only one. I think most people will say this is ridiculously small, and I believe they claim that 17 people can be in any one of those elevators at one time, and I don't think so. I think 9 is a very full elevator, and even 6 is full in my opinion. But let's move on from the ship. Let's go to crew, staff. Staff was excellent. I think on all flagships of all cruise brands, they do bring like their best staff to open the ships and to have them on there for the inaugural season and all that stuff. But everyone from our room steward, which he was very awesome. He did a great job for us. He was always there for us, and he worked around our schedule. Carnival does only clean your room or turn it down or whatever once a day now. But I believe if we needed anything else, we could have definitely requested him to come back. We didn't have to go to customer service, not once. I know for a fact that they were busy. For some reason, on Carnival ships, customer service line is always crazy. Embarkation day, every time you walk through there on deck gate, it was just slammed. Early in the morning, late at night, and not so bad. Slammed. Slam. And I'm not sure what people are doing. Some people are saying that they're moving gratuities. I have no idea. But hopefully you don't need to go there because it's busy. But if you're platinum or diamond, you do have another line you can go into, and it usually goes a little quicker. The wait staff, the dining staff, the servers, everybody just very kind and really worked with us with things we wanted to eat, listening to my wishes with how I wanted my lobster presented. Usually when you go to the dining room and they have lobster that night, it comes with stuff on a plate. It's a meal. I wanted the steak in the main dining room, the included steak, and I wanted my lobster on the same plate. I didn't want a whole another plate. Usually people don't just do that. Usually cruise brands will just bring you out the lobster meal on another plate, and I'm like, I don't need another plate. I just want one lobster tail because you can get 2 entrees, no big deal. And they did it perfectly, and it was beautiful, plated beautiful. It looked like an intentional steak and a surf and turf kind of meal. Really good meal, and I really like our servers in the main dining room. We had my time dining, so we went to a couple of different tables. We remember them all. Very nice people, and not a bad seat in the house, in my opinion. But the dining room has mood lighting that changes with the shows they do, and it'll get colorful in there and then go back to like a light or a warm light kind of. All the staff was amazing. The cruise director, Louis, was the cruise director. He was amazing. Entertainment staff was amazing. We had a great time. We had not an issue with anybody there. Let's go to food. The food, I was very impressed actually with the main dining room food. Carnival has, to me, stepped it up in the main dining room, at least on this flagship. It has been a while since we sailed with Carnival, actually. And I was impressed with the selection that the main dining room offered. Every night, there was quite a lot of things to pick from. They even have a full vegan and a full gluten-free menu. Pairs with the menu for tonight for everybody. Very similar meals, and sometimes they're the exact same meal, but just with the specific dietary restrictions in mind. And they have the full menu. It's a full menu. It's not just like one item on the menu. And I was very impressed to see that. First time I've ever seen that with any brand. And Carnival. Very impressed again with the main dining room food. Overall, too, all the meals we've had were excellent. We barely ate in the buffet for dinner. I don't think we actually did one night. We did go for breakfast and lunch and snacks sometimes. The buffet was good. I will say Carnival's buffet is good. It's not great, in my opinion, and only because their selection has dwindled down because of budget reasons, I'm sure. But what they do have out there, it tastes great to me. I don't really eat much of the dinner, like I said, because of the main dining room and the other options, Chibang, Cucina del Capitano. Everything was just really good. So the lunches were also amazing. The included lunches at Cucina del Capitano and Chibang, they are free in there always and included. And the best dessert on the whole ship, in both of our opinions, is the flan and Chibang for lunch only. They only have it at lunch, so you need to order 2 or 3 of them while you're there because they're included. Really delicious flan. Oh my God. It was spot on every time. Our number 1 dessert. Food, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I was very impressed with the food, actually. The food felt very much comparable, maybe even better than some other cruise brands. And I was impressed with the plating, the taste, and the portion was perfect. There wasn't anything too crazy big or crazy small, because some cruise brands we've been on recently, you'll get something and it's very small or it's very big, and you just it's kind of like a weird, at least for me, and I like eating a lot, but when you get like a half a chicken on a plate, you're like, whoa, I did not realize it was, That's a lot of food. But let's leave it there. The food was good. I recommend it. Jubilee, Carnival Jubilee, good food. What else do we got? We have the entertainment. Entertainment, I will say for me personally, I think this was my taste. I did not care for the show. We only saw one in the main theater. We went to a couple of game shows, which were great in there. There's all that stuff's always good for me with Carnival. The Carnival to me has the best comedians, and they have a lot of cool, like the piano bar people are always really cool. The game shows are really cool and interactive and free usually, I think, everything except for like Deal or No Deal and all that stuff. But the show we went to see was Soulbound, which it's a play on words. It has soul music, and it also has like a spooky theme to it. We actually got up and left. It just wasn't our cup of tea. But as far as the stage, the performances, everything seemed great. It just wasn't my vibe in there. So we left, but the center stage shows that we saw were amazing. And Carnival Jubilee has the Rio Parade, which is specific to that ship only, and the Carnival Rio center stage show. And the performers there, we got to see their last performance because it was time for them to go on their break, the center stage crew. And they do a couple of other shows in there too every week. Like they work hard, and they're doing the parade. They get up there and they dance, sing. There's acrobatic stuff in the up above you. Really enjoy everything we saw in center stage. It never disappoints. And I honestly think I prefer seeing shows there versus in the main theater. I'm not a big fan of the other shows, but that's just me. Entertainment, the entertainment staff, as always, is very involved. The sail away parties, the parties, they really hype it up. The 80s party, cruise director on down, everybody hypes up the ship. And I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10, even though I did not care for that one show. I think that was more a personal preference, not that the show is bad. It just wasn't for me. 10 out of 10 on entertainment. Jubilee, I recommend it. Good. Last but not least, let's jump into it. Our stateroom. Our stateroom was good. It was brand new. We had an ocean view room on deck 4, very close to the Family Harbor Suites, but it was not a Family Harbor Suite. Right by the forward elevators, if I believe. We were right by the elevator bay, which is perfect. We loved the location of the room. It was perfect to get off at the ports we went to, which were Roatan, Honduras, Costa Maya, Mexico, and Cozumel. We just had to go down one deck to be at the gangway on deck 3. And it worked out perfectly. And then same thing getting back, you can climb up one deck flight of stairs. No elevators involved. None of the small elevators involved. We even said that we both preferred the ocean view room in the Caribbean because it's so muggy and hot there on any given day, any month of the year. And it was nice to be able to have those great views and to be because there was a big enough space to sit down in the window for both of us actually. And you could look down and just be right out there watching people on the pier, watching whatever, any dolphin. But we really enjoyed the room. The layout was perfect. I feel like they maybe they made the rooms a little longer and skinnier, but this one seems to have a perfect ratio. Like it was rectangle, but it seemed to have enough width, space between the bed and the wall and the TV, whereas some brands I've been to, I've had to shimmy so I didn't hit the TV. But there's plenty of room. The bathroom was great. Like all the new ships, I feel like the bathrooms are getting smaller unless you're in a suite, but I think they've made good use of the space. I'm just not a particular fan of the way the toilet is, but again, Carnival's not the only brand doing that, where the toilet's kind of in the corner, tucked right next to you're like kind of in a space, and it's kind of like, I don't like that. I like the old toilets on that wall. You get the whole space. You can starfish out on the toilet if you want. That's just personal preference for me. It's not a deal breaker. It's still very usable. They have the great shower door that pivots. It does not open all the way out, which is very well designed. So a third of the door swings in and the rest is out as you're opening it. And that way you can still utilize the bathroom and go around the door without having to like fully move with the door. Very well designed. And I noticed stuff like that. So thank you, Carnival. Again, the amenities are standard. This was a standard room. So you get your body wash and your shampoo in the shower, and to me they're the same product, just a different color. I don't notice a difference because with my glasses I'm just hitting whatever's in there. It is very standard, but most brands are kind of doing this thing. Some of them are now actually just in one. I think Royal Caribbean, it's a 2-in-1 thing, where at least Carnival still has the 2 separate things. Bring your own conditioner, but conditioner is not actually that good for the water system, I heard, so keep that in mind. But overall, we were impressed with the room. 10 out of 10. We really liked the window. I think it's a well-designed room. The location was perfect, and I highly recommend any window room on deck 4, but in that area, I forgot our room number, but I'll put it up here. Really good area of the ship to get on and off again. And you're not that far away from the theater, from a lot of things if you don't want to wait on the elevator. But anyway, that's it. Overall, I was very impressed with the Carnival Jubilee. It's very similar, exactly almost to the Celebration, and very, very similar to the Mardi Gras. I do recommend trying it out, as it is Carnival's flagship. It's the newest, it's the largest. It has probably some of the best staff right now. I hate to judge staff, but if you had to pick, they probably have the highest ratings. Keep that in mind. I think you should go enjoy it. Just be weary of the embarkation process and don't get scared when you show up and see thousands of people waiting to get in that building. They did keep it moving. Make sure you have your boarding pass printed out. And real quick, here is our VFIP Club gift that we got, which is a little tote. Not my favorite thing ever, but whatever, little tote. Here's some of the ducks I found. I found a total of 6 ducks and 2 shot glasses we got from the main dining room from doing shots. Just real quick, I just want to share that stuff with you. So yeah, thank you for joining me here on Kelman Explorers. I hope you get a chance to explore and try the Carnival Jubilee, Carnival's flagship. So this is the newest ship for now, so try to get on it. It's in Galveston, Texas. Pretty good deals actually to get on there. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and comment down below, have you been on the Carnival Jubilee? Would you go? Are you excited to try it? I hope you let me know, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.